The air crackled. A low rumble echoed in the distance. Storms always brought back the fear. Grandpa used to say, "Storms stir the shadows." And sometimes, the shadows stirred back. Grandpa's gone now, but his scent, a mix of pipe tobacco and rain, always returned whenever the thunder roared. These are those stories. And sometimes the shadows weren't just memories. 13. Home alone. Thunderstorm raged outside. Wind howled. Rain lashed against the windows. Inside, the glow of the TV screen flickered, the only light in the house. I was engrossed in a video game, talking trash with my friend online. Then the doorbell rang. A shiver ran down my spine. Who would be out in this weather? I crept closer to the door, peering through the peephole. A tall, gaunt figure stood on the porch, his face obscured by the shadows. He knocked again, louder this time. He raised his hand, pleading, said he needed to use the phone. I hesitated. Grandpa always said, "Don't open the door to strangers." But the man looked so helpless, drenched to the bone. Against my better judgment, I unlocked the door. Just a crack. He pushed his way in. Panic surged through me. I ran, hiding in the closet, my heart pounding in my chest. Through the crack in the door, I watched him pick up the phone, then glance around suspiciously. He dialed a number, his voice a low growl. He saw me. He rushed towards the closet. I slammed the door shut just as he grabbed the handle. He rattled the door, shouting. I screamed, my voice lost in the roar of the storm. Then, silence. The shadow moved across the wall, closer and closer. The storm raged on. I woke with a start. My throat parched. Lightning illuminated the room in a blinding flash, followed by a deafening boom of thunder. I stumbled out of bed, my heart racing. As I made my way to the kitchen, I noticed the patio door was slightly ajar. The wind, I thought. I closed and locked it, securing the latch. Back in my room, glass of water in hand, I felt a chill run down my spine. A floorboard creaked. From beneath my bed, I heard a soft, guttural growl. Terror gripped me. I slowly peered over the edge. Two eyes, gleaming like hot coals, stared back at me. A grotesque, skeletal face, twisted in a silent snarl. I scrambled back, knocking the glass over. Water spilled across the floor. The sound amplified in the silence that followed. I ran, my bare feet slapping against the hardwood floor. I burst into my grandparents' room, flinging myself into their bed, hiding under the covers. My grandfather checked my room, but found nothing. The cabin was supposed to be a relaxing weekend getaway. Nestled deep in the woods, it promised peace and quiet. But as the storm rolled in, the silence became oppressive. The wind howled through the trees, their branches scraping against the windows like skeletal fingers. Inside, we huddled around the fireplace, the flames casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. Then we heard it, voices, whispering, just outside the cabin window. My blood ran cold. We were miles from civilization. Who else could be out here? We strained to listen, our breath catching in our throats. The whispers grew louder, more distinct. They were chanting, a low, rhythmic chant that sent shivers down my spine. Through the gaps in the curtains, we saw them. Figures, dark, shadowy figures moving between the trees. They moved with an unnatural grace, gliding through the undergrowth. We packed our bags and fled, never looking back. The storm was relentless, the wind howling like a banshee. I was alone in the house, the power flickering on and off. Suddenly, the lights went out completely, plunging the house into darkness. I fumbled for my flashlight, my hands shaking. As I turned it on, the beam of light caught a shadow, moving in the corner of the room. My heart raced. I slowly approached, the floor creaking beneath my feet. The shadow moved again, this time closer. I could see it now. A figure, tall and gaunt, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce through me. I screamed, dropping the flashlight. In the darkness, I could hear it breathing, a raspy, labored sound. I ran, stumbling over furniture, desperate to escape. I could feel it behind me, its cold breath on my neck. I reached the door, flinging it open and running into the storm. The rain lashed against my face, but I didn't stop. I ran until I could no longer hear its breath, until I was sure I was safe. I glanced back at the house, and there it was, an eerie silhouette in the window, watching me. The storms still come, and with them, the memories, the fear, the unsettling feeling that something lurks just beyond the shadows. Grandpa was right. Storms do stir the shadows, but they also stir something within us. A primal fear of the unknown, a fear that awakens when the storm rages on.